Near Lone Rock Beach, a national park ranger noticed a faint metallic shape beneath the surface. Not driftwood, not trash. A vehicle, partially buried, resting under layers of silt and silence. Divers were called in. They pulled it from the lake bed slowly, piece by piece. A white 2000 Chevrolet truck. The paint was stripped, the windows clouded. Inside, skeletal remains lay slumped in the driver's seat. The VIN number confirmed it. This was the vehicle listed in a 2-year-old missing person case. A man named Dennis Keith Dillinger, last seen in Kanab, Utah. 56 years old. Quiet. Reliable. Gone without a trace since December 1st, 2023. Now, the truck had been found, but the answers had not. As of the discovery, authorities had not confirmed whether the remains inside the truck belonged to Dennis. Before the truck, before the lake, there was a quiet moment caught on camera. December 1st, 2023. A small Family Dollar store in Kanab, Utah. Security footage showed a man walking in. He moved slowly, calmly. He picked up a few items, paid at the counter, then walked out. That man was Dennis Keith Dillinger, 56, a familiar face in the area. That video would become the last confirmed image of him. He didn't call anyone after, didn't return home, didn't show up for work or check in with family. For days past. On December 5th, he was officially reported missing. Local authorities opened a case. They listed his truck, a white 2000 Chevy, as part of the alert. The National Park Service was notified. Flyers were printed. His name was entered into NAMUS as MP114370. His face was added to the Charlie Project, a national database for the missing. But there was no trail, no digital footprint, no calls, no pings, no evidence of where he'd gone next, and critically, no vehicle. Despite national alerts, road searches, and database checks, Dennis's truck was never spotted again until 2 years later. When the report came in, authorities acted quickly. Dennis wasn't the type to disappear. He had no history of wandering off, no known medical conditions, no signs of distress in the days leading up to it. His information was circulated through state and federal channels. But there was a problem. There were no clues to follow. No witness sightings after he left the Family Dollar. No evidence of foul play. His phone? Silent. His bank account? Untouched. His truck? Missing. Investigators tried mapping his possible routes. They checked local roads and highway shoulders, parks, ridges, ravines. Still, nothing surfaced. No crash reports. No surveillance footage beyond that one store camera. No gas station transactions. No GPS trail. They couldn't even confirm which direction he drove after leaving Kanab. And with each passing day, the silence deepened. Family members stayed in contact with law enforcement. They posted flyers, called hospitals, checked jails, checked morgues. But the days turned into weeks, and then into months. Despite being listed as a missing person on national registries like NAMUS and the Charlie Project, Dennis's case produced 0 confirmed leads for nearly 2 years. Time passed, but no answers came. The missing person bulletin stayed online. The white Chevy truck remained on state watch lists. Family members waited, quietly, faithfully, even as the case grew cold. Investigators revisited the last known sighting. The Family Dollar video was reviewed again and again. It showed Dennis wearing a dark hoodie. He didn't seem rushed. didn't appear confused. No one followed him. He walked out alone. Some officers hoped he'd chosen to leave, to start over. But there was no sign of that. He hadn't packed anything. He hadn't accessed any funds. He hadn't said goodbye. The truck was never seen at border checks. Never picked up by license plate readers. Not even in junkyards or impound lots. Kanab is surrounded by wilderness, desert, canyons, dry riverbeds. If he'd taken a wrong turn or pulled off the road, there were 1,000 places to vanish. Still, no tire marks, no glass, no broken fences or skid patterns. Just one man, gone. For over 20 months, the disappearance of Dennis Keith Dillinger showed no movement, no sign of life, and no confirmed direction of travel. In late summer 2025, the water levels at Lake Powell continued to drop. Years of drought had left the shoreline receding, revealing old secrets. Park rangers patrolled Lone Rock Beach. They were used to finding debris, tires, old metal scraps, even boats. But this was different. What they spotted wasn't floating. It was partially buried, submerged just enough to be overlooked. Rust-colored metal, boxy, still intact. A dive team was dispatched. They moved carefully, fearing contamination or collapse. Then they saw it, the shape of a cab. Then a tailgate, a license plate. It was a white 2000 Chevrolet Silverado. The same make, model, and color as the one Dennis Dillinger had been driving when he vanished. The truck had been underwater the entire time, just miles from Kanab, hidden beneath the surface, preserved by time and silt. Inside the cab were human remains. There was no ID found at the scene, no wallet, no phone, nothing with a name. As of the vehicle recovery, the identity of the remains had not been officially confirmed by investigators. News of the discovery spread fast. After nearly 2 years of silence, the case was back in motion, but not resolved. The remains found inside the submerged truck were transported for examination. The process would take time. DNA analysis, dental records, comparison against the data already on file from the original missing persons report. The sheriff's department didn't make any promises. No public confirmation. Just one cautious statement. The truck matched the one belonging to Dennis Keith Dillinger. But no identity was attached to the remains yet. Legally, officially, Dennis was still missing. And for the family, that meant waiting again. Not for a miracle, but for a name. As of the last official update, no public announcement had been made confirming the identity of the remains found inside the recovered vehicle. While authorities waited for forensic confirmation, one thing was clear. Dennis had left very little behind. There were no unusual withdrawals from his bank account, no sudden online activity, no recorded calls or messages after he left the Family Dollar. His residence showed no signs of a planned departure. No packed bags, no missing documents, no notes. He didn't take medications with him, didn't notify friends, didn't leave his vehicle behind in a place where someone might notice. Only one thing was missing: him. That's what made the case so difficult. No indicators of foul play, no indicators of intent. Only an empty truck seat, a blank stretch of time, and water where a road should have ended. What made it worse was that no one saw it happen. No crash, no splash, no noise in the night, just absence. Total, undisturbed absence. To this day, authorities have not publicly stated how Dennis's vehicle ended up in Lake Powell. or when. With the vehicle recovered and human remains found inside, some pieces of the puzzle were finally visible. But the timeline remained fractured. No one had reported a splash or crashback in December 2023. No tire marks had been found leading into the lake. No eyewitness accounts. No broken railings. Nothing that signaled a vehicle had entered the water. And Lone Rock Beach isn't a major highway. It's off the beaten path. You have to drive toward it intentionally. That's what raised more questions. Had Dennis driven there on purpose? Had something gone wrong in the dark? Or was it something else entirely? Even with the truck pulled from the water and forensic tests underway, investigators hadn't released a theory. And with no confirmed cause of death, no new leads, and no known witnesses, the case stood where it began, with one man, alone, and missing for nearly 2 years before anyone found a trace. As of the latest updates, the case of Dennis Keith Dillinger remains open, with no confirmed cause of death and no evidence explaining how his truck entered Lake Powell. As of now, Dennis Keith Dillinger is still classified as a missing person, even with a vehicle recovered, even with human remains found inside, even with the truck traced directly to him. There has been no official identification of the remains made public, no confirmed autopsy results, no cause of death released, no press conference to close the case. His NamUs entry is still active. His case still appears on the Charlie Project. The FBI's missing persons database continues to list him without a resolution. And for the family, that means no death certificate, no closure, just the possibility that the man who disappeared on December 1st, 2023, may still not be accounted for by name. What started as a routine stop at a Family Dollar ended in silence. Then nearly 2 years of searching, and a truck at the bottom of a lake. But no one saw him go in, and no one has said for sure who came out. Until the remains are officially identified and a cause of death is confirmed, the disappearance of Dennis Keith Dillinger remains unresolved, both on paper and in the minds of those left behind. If you found this case as fascinating as I did, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on more true crime stories. Hit that notification bell too. I'll keep you updated as new details come in. What do you think happened to Dennis? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe and curious.